Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your May 2023 Tarotscope. In the description box below, you will find all sorts of goodies, including a timestamp, if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. Please do keep in mind that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so please only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. I feel incredibly blessed and very privileged to be sharing with you a spread that I've created, taking a look at what you've conquered, where have you or where are you gaining clarity, what do you have the opportunity to change, and what might you be celebrating now or in the future. So let's dive right in and see what you have going on. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves. What has Aquarius conquered, please? All right, thank you. Where has or where is Aquarius gaining clarity, please? Where has or where is Aquarius gaining clarity, please? All right. What does Aquarius have the opportunity to change? Ooh, on the floor, hit the camera and everything. Give me just a second. Okay. And what might Aquarius be celebrating now or in the future? Okay, thank you. Get some clarity. Tell us more, please, about what Aquarius has conquered. Okay. Tell us more, please, about where Aquarius has or is gaining clarity. Okay, thank you. And more, please, about what Aquarius has the opportunity to change. All right. And tell us more, please, about what Aquarius might be celebrating now or in the future. Asked. Okay. Can we please have some advice, guidance, or encouragement for Aquarius? Can we please have some advice, guidance, or encouragement for Aquarius? Advice, guidance, or encouragement for Aquarius, please. Here we are. All right, let's dive in and see what have you conquered, Aquarius. So you do have the stingray here. And if you can see, there are what appear to be like the chakras there. So for some of you, I definitely don't feel like this is for everyone. I just want to make that very clear. I feel like for some of you, you've conquered being out of alignment. I feel so the thing of it is we're always working on healing. There's always a new level, new devil type of thing going on. But I feel for some of you, you've created some feeling of balance or some kind of balance in your experience. And I feel like that is something that you've conquered, right? Because I feel like there could have been a very long period of time for some of you where you felt incredibly out of balance. Now, if you're like, Amber, I don't relate to that at all. I feel like there are others of you who have, how would we say, got a spine, right? And maybe that's This sounds a little harsh, but I feel like if it's for you, you'll know, right? Because you're gonna be like, oh wow, yeah. I feel like some of you may have been unable to express your emotions or your truths, or were unable to speak your voice or share your opinions, or to move on things that you wanted to do, things like this. Like, I just feel like for some of you, it would be, you know, like lacked a spine. Like we're unable to assert yourself. We're unable to really stand up for yourself. Um, and I feel like for some of you, you've conquered that. For some of you, you've now the ability to do those things, to say, this is what this is, black and white. Like, this is also, yeah, thank you. Um, for some, the spine, if you will, comes from establishing boundaries. Because I feel like if you're like, no, wait, I can, I've kind of been able to say what I need to say. Um, I feel like there's an element here as well of maybe some of you were unable to keep your boundaries or establish boundaries. And, people were just coming in with their muddy boots, running all over the place, and, traipsing through your energy in your life, creating havoc or impeding on your life or what have you. And I feel you have since conquered that. Like, no, listen, this is where it is. You need to stay over there. Or this is where the line is. If you cross it, like, we're going to have to address the situation. So, kudos to you, because creating boundaries is very difficult, especially when we're looking at relationships with, let's say, friends or family, um, long-term relationships, or, close relationships. That can be very difficult. So, I feel like for some of you, that's where this spine comes in. You've been able to establish those things, whether it be asserting yourself and having what we might call a spine, um, or creating boundaries, or perhaps getting into alignment. What's the clarity here? Wow. Yeah, the clarity is the Nine of Swords. So, I mean, this is hope. This is overcoming anxiety and trauma and, like, nightmares, sleepless nights, right? So, yeah, with the alignment here, right? Some of you, it probably feels far more relaxing, far less chaotic, because you're now in alignment. There are other energies here where creating those boundaries may have helped you to heal some sort of trauma, and asserting yourself has likely given you hope, because I feel like it's empowered you, which has created a different dynamic. Because I feel like before, you may have felt hopeless. Like, this is never going to end. Like, I'm never going to find peace. I'm never going to be able to relax. I'm always going to be full of anxiety and worrying and all of these sorts of things. And I feel that you have since conquered that. I mean, if you look at this card, it looks pretty nightmarish to me. And there's like freaking eyeballs, which makes me feel like um, that energy of like impeding on your privacy or impeding on your life, or, always feeling like you're looking over your shoulder. There are what appear to be maggots and other creepy crawly things over something that's decaying, right? So it's this energy of feeling like you are just being overtaken, and watching yourself, like the truth of who you are, like decay, which could create that hopeless, nightmarish feeling. And I feel like, again, because it is here in the reverse, that would indicate to me that maybe you've been able to overcome that. Maybe you've been able to conquer that and have since found hope, because you've been able to assert yourself, create boundaries, and or perhaps have found yourself a bit more in balance or alignment. Let's take a look at where you have or are gaining clarity. So we do, yeah, you can't make this stuff up. We have the Nightingale here, which is literally like singing your song, expressing what it is you feel. Like, for some of you, you could actually be singers and are gaining clarity on the importance of that in your life. but I feel like that's probably not true for very many. It's more likely, I feel, that you are gaining clarity or have gained clarity on the importance of expressing yourself, right? Like sharing your truth. Because it's super fascinating. If you look at the card, there's all this darkness here, right? And then where the head and the mouth of this, or the beak of this bird, this nightingale is, it's white. So that's showing up to me as gaining clarity through expressing your truth. It feels like it's overcoming the darkness. It is overcoming the night. And here's the thing too, like there's this bluish color, which is bringing forward energy of peace for me. So I feel like standing in your truth or expressing your truth and singing your song is giving you a sense of peace. Likely because you don't feel so hopeless, and likely because there's not so much weight you're carrying within yourself. But let's see what our clarity is here for you. You do have the Three of Pentacles, which this is an interesting energy because, I mean, it's kind of like a teamwork makes the dream work type of card. But I feel like, okay, yeah. So for some of you, I feel like you've had help gaining this clarity. Like it could have come from maybe a partner or a really good friend or someone that you've felt comfortable with, you can trust, or is, has been loyal to you and caring, who makes you feel very grounded, okay? Or is very like reliable or stable, like always been there for you. So for some of you, you've had help gaining this clarity. And for others of you, I feel like there's kind of this, mm, I don't know, like an understanding. I don't know why it feels like that, but like an understanding of self and a grounding into that. It feels like, I mean, again, we are looking at clarity here, but it feels like an acknowledgement of, how would I say this? Yeah, like an acknowledgement of the stability that expressing yourself could provide. Because threes can be about communication or expression. And pentacles can be about stability. It can be about reliability also. So I mean, there's another thing. Like I feel like there's something here about being able to rely on yourself, being able to trust yourself. But again, it feels like there's been some sort of understanding of like how expressing yourself provides you with stability or makes you feel more stable in your own being. But again, for others of you, you've likely had some help. Again, from a partner, a friend, a family member, or somebody who you feel like you can rely on or provide you with some sense of stability or ability to express yourself. We have here also the Father of Cups in the reverse. So this would indicate to me that you may have, okay. So for some of you, I feel like there's maybe someone has helped you see where other people have been manipulating you because you've been unable to express your truth or express yourself clearly, or been unable to create boundaries. Like I'm actually seeing this as like boundaries as well. So I feel like that could be where you've gained clarity, is understanding where somebody maybe has manipulated you, especially when we look at it from an emotional standpoint, because the Father or King of Cups in the reverse can be a reference or can be indicating some sort of emotional manipulation. This, yeah, I mean, that's really what it feels like to me. For others of you, I feel like there's something here where somebody maybe could have expressed to you or shared with you that the inability to speak your truth made you like super moody, right? So let's say you do have people who you can lean on or who love you and you know that, but there are others maybe who don't respect you and you don't feel like you can communicate honestly with, or maybe you do but you weren't unable to establish boundaries or something like that. And so you're without those boundaries, right? Like things are still happening, you're still experiencing this, and then you get around that person who loves and cares for you and are just, you take it all out on them. So, this could have been either somebody helping you to recognize that other people, maybe a father figure even, um, were manipulating you emotionally because of your lack of boundaries or inability to express yourself. Or someone could have potentially shared with you, hey, you aren't this isn't serving you because this is what happens because you're not saying what you need to say and you're not expressing your truth and you're not, you don't have these boundaries. You're going around these individuals or sharing experiences with them, and then you're coming back around me and treating me like shit. Okay, I feel like I'm just going to be honest, like that's the energy I'm getting coming through here. With the King of Cups here, it could have potentially been a Scorpio, which Scorpio's birthdays are between October 23rd and November 21st. If there's, if that's helpful at all, I don't know why I felt the need to express that clearly, but this Three of Pentacles is Capricorn energy as well. So, I feel like it literally could be a father or a father figure that maybe you were unable to create boundaries around. And I feel like there's something here because this is in the upright. I feel like this is about you, again, gaining clarity on what it means to show up for yourself and the importance of that. Let's take a look at what you have the opportunity to change. So we do have the cheetah. This is solar force energy. It's also masculine. Um, and so I feel again like here's the thing with that masculine energy, which is wild, it kind of blows my mind actually. It's an energy of confidence and inner strength and decisiveness and having the ability and the clarity to create boundaries, the courage to create boundaries, and being disciplined enough to stand in them, being assertive in standing in them, right? It's like, and that's not to say that you're emotionless or savage because the yang energy is expressive. Okay, it is. Yang or masculine is expressive. And I want to lovingly say that it does not matter if you are male or female. We have both masculine and feminine energies within us, right? And we're meant to be bringing them as much into balance as we possibly can. So I feel, this is one of those things where you are or do have the opportunity. And I feel like, so this is like a work in progress. And I feel like you're likely to continue developing this and strengthening this potentially through this masculine energy and balancing that out. Being able to stand your ground, as it were, and with or maintain, thank you, maintain boundaries with courage and clarity and what is the word I'm looking for? I feel like there's releasing fear. For some of you, I feel like that's scary, or it has been scary to do. But again, I feel like there's that inner strength and confidence to maintain those boundaries, especially, and to protect yourself and potentially the people you love. Because again, this could have been where you weren't expressing yourself fully, and that's rubbing off in other areas of your life, right? So this is overcoming, okay, and having the ability to change. I feel more of those shadow masculine energies, which are avoidant, is really a big word that's coming through, which can be avoidant, self-loathing, intimidated, feeling weak, maybe even confrontational or critical, abusive or aggressive, right? Because if you are imbalanced, it can show up in those more shadow traits. Okay. So, I feel like you have the opportunity to bring that into balance. And I do feel like there's something here about creating more movement in your life, or continuing to move forward. We also have, wow, yeah. We also have the moth here, which, I mean, this is essentially, I'm going to actually read the book for you from this, or from the book for you with this card. But just off the cuff, for some of you, I feel like you have this opportunity to stop essentially sabotaging yourself, right? Because I'm immediately drawn to like moth to a flame. So I feel like you have the ability here to essentially save yourself, protect yourself, um, by taking what you've learned and implementing it into your life and further developing it, focusing on developing it further, right? Which means, putting those things into practice, continuously upholding those boundaries, and, standing confident in them and not wavering. So let's see here with the moth. There it is. Okay. So we do have keywords: impulsive, hasty, and wishful. The moth is sure the grass is greener on the other side. Moth energy is at play when we're attracted to easy solutions or anything shiny and new. This can lead to unfinished projects, disappointment, or burnout. It's helpful to remind moth personalities that life is complex. No matter the illusion, no one is exempt from the trials and tribulations of this great journey. Practice seeing life as an infinite mystery rather than wishing it was easier or different. When in balance, enthusiastic, whimsical. When out of balance, idealizes others, jittery. To bring into balance, finish a project. So, I mean, I feel like there's the part that stands out to me here is this spot that says, no one is exempt from the trials and tribulations of this great journey, right? Because life is complex. And so, I feel like there may be an aspect that of you, which we've all been there, that wishes it was easier. That wishes, you could just do that and things would be the way we want them to without having to put much effort into it. And to be fair, society is not very good at, directing us otherwise. You can get any kind of food delivered to your house. You can see your doctor from home. There's a fairly easy button for many things nowadays. And so, I feel like you have the opportunity here to follow through with this and to grow tremendously from this, because it does say here, right, we're talking about a journey and the trials and tribulations of that. So I feel like you have the opportunity to overcome that and follow through with these boundaries. But again, there's still that looming energy of, not continuing to expose yourself to, let's say, the fire. Okay, we also have to clarify the Eight of Wands, which is, this is hasty, quick decisions. It can also be a conclusion, as well, or how do we say it? Like the Eight can be about mastery. So, I feel like there's something here about being able to essentially master yourself, really master your energy. Um, but I feel like it's like bringing, how would we say, bringing change, or a conclusion, if you will, to a cycle that may have been repeated for quite some time. Because again, there was this energy of feeling like some of what may have been experienced here has been for a lengthy period of time. So I feel like this could bring a conclusion. And again, it's interesting because you have this cheetah here, which is that fire energy there with the upward facing triangle. And then the wands energy is also fire. So it's about taking action, right? And with that action, again, I feel like you have the opportunity to experience, like to close this cycle out, to reach a conclusion, to master yourself, or master that that more masculine energy in regards to being assertive and creating boundaries and the importance of that. We also have the Two of Wands here, and this is in the reverse. So what's interesting about this is a fear of change, right? It's a fear of change. It is, I mean, it can be like playing it safe. And maybe, you know, not having those boundaries and not expressing yourself was playing it safe, because maybe you didn't want to ruffle anybody's feathers or hurt anybody, which is, you know, that's understandable. It is. We all go through that. I mean, oftentimes we will hurt ourselves to save the feelings of other people. And if you are somebody who has done that for a long time, it can be very difficult to overcome, right? But unfortunately, you know, that's also Two of Wands, bad planning, because it ends up biting us, you know, it ends up coming up to bite us later. So, you know, I feel like you have the opportunity to change this, but you're going to have to face that fear of change and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's how we grow, Aquarius, is through those trials and tribulations, as was spoken about in regards to the moth, right? That's how we evolve and develop and better understand ourselves as well. What might you be celebrating, Aquarius, now or in the future? So yes, hell yeah. So you have the lion here, which is absolutely freaking glorious, because the lion is has this balance. Okay, the lion is essentially this master. I want to actually look. I just saw this earlier, but I feel like I have to share this with you like verbatim, because it's so relevant to what we've been speaking on here for you, Aquarius. So just give me a second to find this. I apologize. These are not in any sort of alphabetical order. They are sorted by element, but kind of like just looking for it. Okay. So, yes. Okay. So I'm just going to read you this little paragraph here. And think about this, right? What you might be celebrating now or in the future. Patient, regal, a complete master. The lion is a master of the fire element and the living mascot of self-transformation. A lion personality dedicates their life to personal and spiritual growth. This dedication inspires some and intimidates others. Therefore, the lion is respected by all, but known intimately by few. Some mistake the lion as hard to access or aloof, yet those with a keener eye know better. Lions are observant, stealth, and precise in their words and actions. They do not waste energy or resources. This card reminds us that self-mastery is available to all, no matter where our quest begins. When in balance, the epitome of peace and strength. When out of balance, withdrawn, too serious. To bring into balance, daily meditation and friendship. Right? So what you might be celebrating is literally mastering, essentially, that peace and strength. Like bringing that peace into your life through the strength of what you're developing with the cheetah, with that divine masculine, assertive, confident. I mean, and here's the other thing, like, just to give you a sign of your sign if you needed it, in the tarot, Leo is represented by the Strength card, which is that inner strength. It is courage, conviction, bravery. Okay? So, but it's also a compassionate energy. It's not a forceful, let me, put my foot on your neck type of energy. It is a compassionate energy that's like, I don't like this. This is how it is. Peace and strength, but it is inner strength, not brute physical strength. And in the, I believe it's the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, the character in the Strength card has its hands in the lion's mouth, right? Because it is essentially courageous enough to do so and trusting that they have that compassion and power over the brute strength of the lion, if that makes any sense. So, I feel like for you, you could be celebrating that balance, that peace and strength. And that is freaking fabulous. Yes, this is beautiful. You also have the Ace of Swords, and this is a breakthrough. This is clarity. I love this because it's also truth and potential and opportunity. It's such a beautiful energy for you. Because again, it's that breakthrough energy, and I do feel like that's pretty powerful to come through for you in a space of celebration, right? Gaining a breakthrough in peace and strength is beautiful, especially when it's a compassionate strength. It's that inner strength, that courage and confidence, because that can propel you tremendously in your journey, should you let it. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, let's take a look at your advice, guidance, or encouragement. You do have Thinker here, the number 44. So just to share with you, fours are about stability, okay, and foundations and endurance. They are, and here's the thing, fours are also a sign of that divine force in your life, right? So being, having angels around you, guides around you who are helping you to manifest things into your experience, right? So here's the thing. I feel like for you moving forward, and look at this, there are like blocks here, or squares, what appear to be squares that she's sitting on. And so I feel there's potentially for you, if you think about this very, how would we say, deliberately and intentionally, but not from a place of fear, but rather from a place of clarity, I feel like it could help you to truly bring in some incredible stability into your experience, because you're not going to be dealing with this energy all willy-nilly, right? This imbalance in your life. And again, that masculine energy is stable. It is stability. So, and here's the other little, here's another thing for you just to add to this. That masculine energy is also a thinking and analytical energy. Okay? Focus. So if you focus on bringing these things through into your experience and creating foundations around these practices, if you will, of boundaries and, confidently asserting yourself and delving into the inner strength, I feel like you could really create some amazing stability in your life and likely manifest better experiences. I mean, there are stars on this card as well. And the stars, I mean, represent, like if we look at it from a tarot perspective, they represent moving past negativity. They represent hope after like a dark night or a dark night of the soul. And you also have hope here with the Nine of Swords. And then they represent healing and rebuilding, faith, right? So I just feel like it could create something very beautiful in your experience should you let it. You're going to have to release the fear though, because there it comes again. You also have here regeneration. How friggin' amazing is that? We were just talking about rebuilding, right? Healing, right? So this is, I mean, this is essentially, how would you say, going through that dark night, going through that death, if you will, of an old way of being and emerging. It's kind of like a phoenix type of energy with something much more beautiful, much more stable, strong, brand new, right? I'm actually going to grab the guidebook and read this for you because I feel like I literally opened up to the exact page. That's wild. So it does say here, right? Rebirth, second chances, and new opportunities. This is absolutely incredible. Can't make this stuff up. Second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better and more powerful growing in its place. This rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways, right? So again, like I was saying with the thinker, like I feel like you have the opportunity to create something really beautiful, an experience that where you have this enthusiasm for life and where, you know, I feel like it gives life more zest is one way of putting it, because it's like I don't feel like you're exhausting yourself. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like you're feeling hopeless. I feel like there's a feeling of power and strength in that death and rebirth process. So Aquarius, that is what I have for you for the month of May 2023. Thank you so very much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure to read for you. I pray that something here has resonated for you in some way, shape, or form. If it has, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting below, or subscribing. It really does help the channel to grow. It tells YouTube that there may be something important or valuable here for someone else. So I greatly, greatly appreciate that. I'm also praying that you do have the ability to find the courage within you to continue to work on developing these skills more and more and more, and discovering the truth of who you are, finding and bringing in that authenticity, that peace, and of course, that strength. Have a beautiful rest of your month, rest of your year. Take care of your powerful, courageous, beautiful soul. Peace be with you and within you. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.